Good morning, students. How are you all? Okay, good. We are learning now the journalizing, isn't it, in accountancy? But we have not completed yesterday's portion. We know we have seen many examples, isn't it? How to prepare journal entries for different transactions. Some of them, as a recap, we will see once again yesterday's. For cash deposited into bank, this is the transaction, isn't it? Transaction. First, we should identify the two accounts. One is cash, the other is bank. Then, we should know the rule for that. We should identify the nature of account. This cash related to which account? Real account. Okay, real account. Then bank is related to personal account. Now we should apply the rule of that accounts. Golden rules of accounting. We know the accounting rules. For personal account, debit the receiver, credit the giver. Isn't it? For real account, debit what comes in, credit what goes out. Isn't it? For nominal account, debit all expense and loss, credit all income and gains. Isn't it? So here we should apply these rules. So at any time if we ask, you should be able to answer this rules of accounting. Okay, golden rules of accounting. But one cash related to real account. So what is the rule? Debit what comes in, credit what goes out. Now we should treat all these transactions from the viewpoint of the business. For business only, whether it is coming in or goes out. Don't think of the owner. Okay, owner we may not think of. From the viewpoint of the business only, we have to consider this one. So whether cash comes in for the business, cash deposited into bank. Cash, when we deposit money into the bank only receiving, and here cash is going out, isn't it? So we should credit. So we should credit what? The cash. Then bank with personal account. What is the rule? Debit the receiver, credit the giver. The bank is receiving or giving. It is receiving. So debit. One is debit, other one credit. Now we should write bank account, debtor to cash account. This one from the line, then debtor near that LF column, then to cash, then cash deposited into bank. Isn't it? This is the treatment to analyze the transaction and to write a journal entry. Then another one we have seen, paid salary by check. Here we pay salary by check, not cash. So it is that one, by check, isn't it? Then salary, one expense. So we can underline that one. So by check means who is paying? Bank. Isn't it? Salary is related to which account? Nominal account. Here bank is personal account. For nominal account, what is the rule? Debit all expense and losses. It is an expense because we pay salary. So we should debit salary and automatically we have to credit bank, isn't it? So once again you can check that rule of accounting for this personal account. For personal account, debit the receiver, credit the giver. Here who is paying the check? Who is paying the amount? The bank. So credit the giver. So here salary debit, bank credit. You see, then we should write salary account debtor to bank account, paid salary by check. Then sold goods to Mahesh on credit. Here sold goods is considered as sales because in the previous another example we have seen that bought goods purchases. So sold goods is considered as sales because it is an income. So it is related to nominal account. Then to Mahesh on credit. If it is cash, do not worry about this one, but it is credit. So we do not receive cash. So we should consider this personal account. Okay, now we should see what is the rule of accounting. For nominal account, what is the rule? Credit all income and gain. So it is an income, so we should credit. Then Mahesh, personal account. So debit the receiver, credit the giver. Here sold goods to Mahesh. So Mahesh is receiving this goods. So we should debit. So Mahesh account debtor to sales account 9,000. Sold goods to Mahesh. On credit also you can write, no problem. Okay. Then another one. Sold goods to Mahendra for cash, rupees 5,000. Here Mahesh on credit. Here Mahendra for cash. Just to confuse you, they have given this name. By seeing this name, don't write, because if it is for cash, it is a cash transaction. So cash will be there. One is cash, the sold goods is sales. Here two account. Here nominal account is sales. Here cash account, real account, isn't it? Then so sales and income, so we should credit. Here cash, that for real account, debit what comes in. Cash is coming in, isn't it? So we should debit cash, credit sales. Now you write the entry. Cash account debtor to sales account. Cash sales. We can write the amount. Okay. Then borrowed loan from bank, 10,000. Here we are borrowing loan from the bank. Here who is that? Two accounts. One bank we can consider, isn't it? Bank, that is loan. So we cannot simply write bank, but we should consider as bank loan, because we need to pay that one. We do not have any credit in that amount. Instead we are borrowing loan from the bank, and it will be considered as bank loan only. Then cash is coming inside. Okay, that 10,000 is considered as cash. So cash is coming in. Okay, real account. Then this bank loan. This is the bank loan, means a personal account, credit the giver. Who is giving the loan? The bank. So simply we should not write bank. We should consider as loan, because we need to pay this one. We will show this one as a liability. Okay. Now today's, the other 2-3 examples are given there. We will see that. Okay. Again the same thing. We are continuing yesterday's class. That's why I had a recap. Okay. The previous day's lesson. Now another one. Received commission. That example 11. Okay. Received commission of rupees 5,000 by cash. So one, commission received, isn't it? We will write there where commission received. Received commission, no, commission received. Another one, cash. Here receiving commission is an income. So it is nominal account. Nominal account, commission, what we should do? We should credit all income and gain. So it is an income, we should credit. Here cash. When we receive commission, 5,000 coming inside, isn't it? So cash, real account, debit what comes in. So we should debit. So now we say the journal entry. Debit is cash. So cash account debtor to commission received account. Commission received account. Commission received. Okay. 5,000. Okay. The next one we will see. 12th. Paid rupees 4,800 in full settlement of rupees 5,000 due to the creditor First you have to understand the statement, the transaction. Okay, creditor Kirtana. So what is the meaning? We need to pay to the creditor Kirtana 5,000. Now paid rupees 4,800. Instead of 5,000 we have paid to 4,800. So the remaining 200 is an income, isn't it? 5,000 we need to pay. We are paying 4,800. So this 200 is a gain. No need to pay, isn't it? It is a gain. What is this? This is called when we pay amount to the creditor, when we get a reduction in that value is called discount received. Discount received. It is called a discount. When we allow discount for the debtors, it is called discount allowed. Okay, that I am writing in bracket. For debtors, when the debtors pay amount, when they pay less, that is called discount allowed. For example, one debtor, he has to pay 5,000, he is paying 4,800. We are receiving only 4,800. So that 200 is a loss. That is called discount allowed. Okay, discount allowed. So that related to nominal account, because it is a loss, we should debit this one. So discount allowed we should debit. Okay, here the creditors, isn't it? To the creditors we are paying the amount. When we pay the amount, we are gaining 200. That is called discount received. When we receive discount, we do not pay that 200, isn't it? So it is an income, gain. So that is gain for us. So we need to credit this discount received. So that discount received should be credited. Okay. Then 5,000 due to the creditor, isn't it? So the creditor, now we are paying 4,800, isn't it? This is what? Cash. Cash we pay. Real account. The debit what comes in, credit what goes out. We are paying. So we need to credit. So this 4,800 we need to credit. 2,000 we need to credit. What is this 5,000? Already now you see that to the creditor we are paying. So this creditor is receiving. Okay, so his the personal account, he is receiving. So what is the rule for personal account? Debit the receiver. So we need to debit this creditor account. Okay, now we will write the journal entry. What should be debited? Creditor's account debtor. Here the creditor means who? The Kirtana. So you write Kirtana's account debtor. Kirtana's account debtor to cash, to discount received account. Discount received account. Okay. Discount received account. Then narration, paid, Kirtana's account is settled. You can write like that. Okay, Kirtana's account is settled. Kirtana's account we have paid. Okay, Kirtana's account showed credit balance 5,000. Now we pay. Okay, debit. Cash, how much we pay? 4,800. What is the gain on that one? 200. That is the journal entry. Okay. Now we will see one more example is given. Okay. one more example. Dinesh, a customer, Dinesh, a customer, is declared insolvent. Declared insolvent. And 40 paise in a rupee is received from the estate for his due. Rupees 10,000. Now you should understand the meaning of this one. Dinesh, one customer. Customer means we have sold goods for him on credit. Now he has become insolvent. It was insolvent means he is not able to pay his debt. The court will declare that he is not able to pay back his debts. Okay, whatever all the properties will be taken away by him, and the creditors will be paid something. So now the court has announced that if we pay him for 1 rupee, we can recover 40 paise. So we need to calculate that amount. Understand? For 1 rupee, we can get 40 paise. So for 10,000, how much we can receive? Okay? So for 1 rupee, 40 paise. So here 20, isn't it? 2 digits. So we should multiply this one. 4 into 1. Okay, 40. Then write all the zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if we multiply this one 40, here 1 50, 1 into 4 4. Now 2 digits we need to keep here, isn't it? 1 2. Then this one we can cancel. So how much rupees we can get? 4,000 rupees only we can get from it. Okay. So here 4,000 we can receive. Okay, that is the cash is received from the estate for his due, from his estate. Okay, so 4,000 we can get, that is the cash, isn't it? So we receive, debit what comes in, we need to debit this 4,000 we can debit. So in his account already it is showing debit balance, that when we sell goods, what we will do? Dinesh account debtor to sales we should have written, isn't it? Already that now he is paying, isn't it? Already his account show 10,000. Already he has received that sales from us for 10,000. Now we need to cancel his account. Now he is paying. So this personal account, what is the rule? Credit the giver. He is the giver. So we need to credit Dinesh. Credit Dinesh 10,000. We should cancel, isn't it, his account? But actually we receive 4,000. What is the remaining 6,000? It is a loss. Okay, loss. We cannot receive this back. This is called bad debts. What is a bad debt? Irrecoverable debt. When I have explained to you, isn't it? Irrecoverable debt. We cannot collect back from him. So it is an irrecoverable debt. Okay. Now loss, nominal account, debit all expense and loss. So we should debit. So cash 4,000 we should debit. Bad debts we should debit to 6,000. Then who is the giver? Dinesh. Personal account credit we should credit. Now we will write the journal entry. Okay, all these we have to do this in rough and we have to write here. Journal entry. What is first we should debit? Cash account debtor. for each and everything you have to draw line, 5 columns, okay. Cash account debtor, then again another one. It is a compound entry. We have studied that one? No. Now I will teach you. After this example, I will teach you the different varieties of entries. Okay. Bad debts account debtor to Dinesh account. Then cash received or Dinesh account settled. The settlement of Dinesh account. Okay, anything you can write. Cash 4,000 we can receive. 6,000 is a loss. Then 10,000 already it is showing debit balance in his account. We are now we credit. Understood? Now I will teach you all the types of entries. All the various types of entries. Understand? So only then you will write this one, this entry. It is called compound entry. Many entries are there. The first one, single entry. Single entry. Here in this journal entry, we will have only 2 accounts. How many accounts? 2 accounts. Only 2 accounts. One will be debited, the other one will be credited. Understood? Then the next entry, compound entry. Now you will understand. Compound entry is this one. Okay. Here, in this compound entry, there will be more than 2 accounts. More than 2 accounts. Either one or 2 debit entry or 1 or more credit entries. Okay, meaning more than 2, either 3 or 4 also we can have. Okay, in one entry, that is called compound entry. Here you see, here we have debited 2 accounts, we have credited 1 account. Here 2 credit, 2 debtor, 1 credit. Otherwise 2 credit, 1 debit. So, or both 2 debit and 2 credit also we may have. Understand? That is called compound entry. Then third one, opening entry. Opening entry, I remember that I have taught you that each and every year at the end of the financial period we will prepare the final accounts, isn't it? Final accounts we will prepare. That time the final account is called balance sheet. Final account consists of 2 accounts. One is profit and loss account and the other one balance sheet. This balance sheet items, okay, all the items from the balance sheet will be written as the opening entries. As the opening entries for the next year. Because balance sheet is prepared on the end of the accounting period, maybe 31st December. But this, the next year starting when 1st January. Okay, that year they will prepare this as journal entries. That is called opening entries. Okay, this we are going to learn in the 6th chapter, trial balance. Okay, there we will learn. Then another one, opposite of this opening entry, closing entries. Closing entries. Here, this at the end of the accounting period. Here at the beginning, okay, beginning of the year. Here at the end of the accounting year, they will prepare the entries, because all these nominal accounts, balances, okay, by transferring this nominal account balances to trading account or profit and loss account. Trading account or profit and loss account. Here all the direct expenses and direct revenue will be transferred to trading account. Here all the indirect expense and indirect revenue will be transferred to profit and loss account. Understand? This one will be learned in the same lesson. Okay, 6th lesson. Okay. The next entry, rectifying entry. Rectifying entries. Rectify means what? Rectifying error. That we are going to deal in chapter 9. Okay. Rectification of errors. If we find out any error, when we prepare the trial balance, if the trial balance does not get tally, that means that we have made some mistakes. So we need to check it out and we should locate the error and we have to prepare an rectifying entry to rectify that error. Understand? So that entries are passed to rectify an error. They are called the rectifying entry. Understand? So this also we will learn in chapter 9. There if we find any mistake, we cannot correct in the states that trial balance or ledger account. By writing one entry only we can make corrections in the books of account. We should never overwriting, rubbing and writing should not be done. Okay. Okay, that we may not do. That is called forgery. Okay, should not correct anything in the same place. But instead of there, we should prepare one entry to correct that error. Okay, that is called rectifying entry. In this chapter 9 we will learn. Okay, then adjusting entry. Adjusting entry. This adjusting entry and the other one, transferring entry, we are going to learn in chapter 13. Here, some adjusting entries we need to make before preparing the trading and profit and loss account. Trading and profit and loss account. After making some adjusting entries, because for sometimes salary may not be paid full. I have told this example already. Okay, that is called outstanding salary. Outstanding salary rupees 5,000, because we used to pay on the first of every month, isn't it? But the salary will get due on 31st. By every month only they will work, isn't it? By 31st the salary will due. But we pay on 1st of the next month. So on that year, you see, if it closes by 31st December, here we have not paid that December salary, but it will be paid on 1st January next year. So we should include this salary along with this year's expenses. So we need to make some adjusting entries. Understand? They are called the adjusting entries. Then this adjusting entries we need to make, and this should be transferred to trading and profit and loss account. Okay, trading and profit and loss account data to salary outstanding. Okay, so we have to prepare some transfer entries also. That is the last one, transfer entries. These both we will learn in chapter 13. Now to show you, to make you understand this compound entry, I have explained to you all these things. Okay, this compound entry, if there is only one debit and credit, it is called a single entry. Opening entry, then closing entry, then transfer entry, adjusting entry and transfer entries. Okay, So now you might have understood. I will explain one of the illustration now. Okay, students. I will read out this illustration. Illustration 8, 6 in your book. Okay. JSCD is a sole proprietor having a provision store. Following are the transactions during the month of January 2018. Journalize them. Commenced business with cash. January 1. January 2. Deposited cash with the bank. Then purchased goods by paying cash. Amount 5,000. Purchased goods from Lipton and Co. on credit. Sold goods to Joy and received cash. Paid salaries by cash. Paid Lipton and Co. by check for the purchases made on 4th January. Then bought furniture by cash. Then paid electricity charges by cash. Bank paid insurance premium on furniture as per standing instructions. Today I will explain this illustration. Tomorrow I will do it on the notebook. Okay. Now you see first one. Commenced business with cash. This we have already done this one, isn't it? Not in the accounting equation, and here it looks the same. Okay. Commenced business. So there cash and capital here also. Okay. But everything but something difference is there. There we write stock, but here we write purchases means purchases, sales means sales. There if it is purchases we will add, sales means we will deduct, isn't it? Some differences there, but all the approaches are same. Okay, debit, two accounts are there, one is increasing, another one is decreasing. Here we are writing debit credit, that's all. Okay. So here you see comments, everything you may not compare with that accounting equation. That is little different from this journalize. Okay. Commenced business with cash. Here one account is cash. Another one commenced business, we should think of the capital. Okay. Cash coming inside. From the viewpoint of the business only we have to prepare the journal entries. For the business cash is coming in. So debit what comes in, credit what goes out. Okay, that means credit what goes out. Here capital is the personal account. What is the rule? Debit the receiver, credit the giver. Here JCB is giving, so we should write JCB is capital account. She is the one who is starting the business with the cash, isn't it? So see the entry. Cash account debtor to JCB's capital account. JCB commenced business with the cash. Okay. Then LF column debit. You see how the amount is written. It's touching near this line, and they have left this much space. Okay, you should write like that. Don't start from here. It is wrong. Start from this side. Okay. Then you should leave little space and you have to start. Then keep comma for the digits after 3 digit, then 2 digit, Indian style of writing the numbers. Then next one, second one, deposited cash with the bank. Okay, amount 40,000. Deposit cash with the bank. Here we have done, isn't it? Deposited cash with the bank. One is cash is going out. This one we know real account. Here cash goes out, so we need to credit. Then here bank is the personal account, debit the receiver. Actually that cash is received in the bank. So bank should be debited. So what is the entry? Bank account debtor to cash account. Yeah, right. Cash deposited into bank or deposited cash into bank. Okay, like that. Then the third one. Purchased goods by paying cash. 5,000. Here one cash we pay. Purchased goods, I have told you we should write as purchases. So this is nominal account, this real account. For real account, debit what comes in, credit what goes out. Here cash is going out, so we should credit. Nominal account, debit all expense and loss, credit all income and gain. Here we are spending, okay, expense. So we should debit. So purchases, we should write not purchased goods, purchases account debtor to cash. Okay, I think you are able to understand, students. Yes, I think so. Okay. Then fourth one, purchased goods from Lipton and Co on credit. Here for credit, so there is no cash transaction, credit transaction. So this from Lipton and Co. Personal account, isn't it? And all this organization, personal account. From him, he is the giver. So we should credit. Then purchased goods is called purchases, isn't it? So goods only purchases, but if we purchase furniture, anything, we should not write purchases. Understand? So here it is purchases, nominal account. Here it is expense, so we should debit. So after doing one or two exercise, it will be a by heart for you. Because purchases, okay, debit. Because always purchases, debit. Now he is the giver, so credit. Now you write the entry, purchases account debtor to Lipton and Co account. See, purchases account debtor to Lipton and Co account. Goods purchased on credit. That's all. Okay. Then the next transaction. Sold goods to Joy and received cash. We are selling goods, so it is called sales. Okay. And Joy, but we received cash, so don't take Joy cash only. If it is for credit only, that person's name we write. Here cash we receive. Okay. So the real account, debit what comes in, cash is coming in, debit. Here nominal account, credit all income and gain, it is an income. Okay. So we should credit. So cash account debtor to sales account. Okay, see. Cash account debtor to sales account. Cash, sales made. Okay, that's all. Then next one, sixth one. Paid salaries by cash. Here, one is cash, the other one expense, isn't it? The same thing we have seen in the example also. Salaries. So it is expense, nominal account. It is real account, isn't it? So paid salary by cash. So cash is going out, so we need to credit. It is an expense, we should debit. So what is the entry? Salaries account debtor to cash. Paid salaries by cash. That is the narration. You write within bracket. Then paid Lipton and Co by check for the purchases made on 4th January. Now you see, 4th January, how much we have purchased? 10,000. Okay. Amount they have not given. Here 10,000. So we are paying by check. So who is paying this one? The bank. Okay. Then we are paying to him. Paid Lipton and Co. Because we have purchased goods from Lipton and Co. Now we are paying. He is the receiver. So personal account, he is the receiver. So we should debit. Okay, then bank is the personal account, credit the giver, bank is paying. So what is the entry? Lipton and Co account debtor to bank account. Amount is 10,000. Okay, from here we have found out the amount. Bought furniture by cash. Here I told you, purchased goods only purchases, but bought furniture means it is an asset. Okay, real account. By cash, this also real account. What is coming in, what is going out? Okay, furniture coming in, debtor, cash going out, creditor. Okay, so furniture account debtor to cash. Bought furniture by cash. And paid electricity charges by cash. Here, expense name is electricity charges. Then we are paying by cash. So real account, nominal account, debit all expense. So it is an expense, we should debit. Here real account, debit what comes in, credit what goes out. So cash going out, so we need to credit. Electricity charges account debtor to cash account. Okay. Then bank paid insurance premium. Expense name what? Insurance premium on furniture. As per our standing instruction, I told you some of the bank will pay the electricity charges, insurance premium. Okay, if we give some instruction, we do not worry about that one. The bank will pay from the bank that amount that our account has. Okay, from that amount they will debit. So here bank is paying. So personal account, credit the giver. We should credit bank. Then it is an expense. Insurance premium on furniture. Expense, debit all expense. So we should debit insurance premium on furniture account, debtor to bank account. It is 300. Insurance premium paid by bank. Okay, that is the journal entries. You will see this journal entry, and I will give you one exercise tomorrow. This also sometimes I will see the next illustration. Like I have explained this one. Next illustration we will do in the notebook tomorrow. Okay students, you see very well once again you see, and it will be easy for you to understand. Okay students, thank you very much.